Hi, Dave Roscoe here. What a crazy 24 hours. While the Picoin price continued to slide all the way down to exactly 40 cents, the buy orders kicked in and the price skyrocketed. And this all happened in a very short time. And then the selling pressure kicks back in and the price starts dropping down again. Welcome to the roller coaster ride that is crypto trading. All I can say is that I hope that all of you guys who have been shorting Pi are doing okay this morning. As I suggested yesterday, the migrations are way up from previous days, with 16 million Pi migrated yesterday and 6.7 million Pi unlocked and free to be traded. Let's take a look at the price action for the last 24 hours. And woo-wee, this has been fun. So if you see right here, right, the price hit about 40 cents. In fact, depending on where you look, there we go. Hit exactly 40 cents. It went exactly to 40 cents. And then we started to see a lot of buying pressure. As you can see, this candle starts to go up. We start seeing buying. And then you get this little bit of uncertainty here, which is normal. This happens all the time. And then you see steady buy, right? And then you take a look here. It hits 70 cents. And then the selling pressure kicks in, but overall it's a positive, right? So then you have, again, another bit of uncertainty here, and then continues all the way up. And then we have selling pressure kick in. The candle drops lower than it opened, so it's a red candle, and then it continues down, and now we're sitting here. So for me, my Pi is staying right where it is. The market cap is at 4.39 billion, which is up 24% from the last 24 hours, which no surprise considering the spike in the price. And the daily trading volume is at 1.26 billion. It's been in the low to mid millions for quite some time, and it is up 175%. But that's enough on that. I want to go and address some comments. So this gentleman here, Dami Raga 88, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Now this is a long comment, okay? And I will read the highlights of it. You have my full trust as a YouTube content creator, and I ask you to research and publish the following in one of your next videos. Thank you for the trust. I don't know how warranted it is. It says here that following the previous announcements of the Pi Core team and the list of verified KYBs, I came to the following conclusion. Pi Network has technically entered the phase of selective open mainnet. Certain KYB-owned partners like OKX have access to the network, but for the wider public and the market, the network is still officially closed. Now, this is a very important statement. It is no coincidence that the 5 companies that were KYB'd from day one on Open Mainnet are there. These companies all had pre-arranged agreements with the Pi Network to help them build their project after Open Mainnet. Open Mainnet was necessary in order to allow their partners to work with the Pi blockchain. They couldn't do this in closed mainnet. So he's absolutely right here. And this is an important distinction because the news that's come out lately is that the Pi Core team wants to maintain control of the Pi network and that they rejected Binance KYB for this reason. As far as I'm concerned, it's hearsay and speculation because we have no proof. The sources of this information may be very good, but it's also taken out of context. Consider this. If the Pi network is in a partial open mainnet so that they can develop certain programs and projects in conjunction with their partners, it is very conceivable that they would reject a KYB from a non-partner at this point. yes, the Pi Core team is in control, and there's no secret about that. Pi network is not decentralized right now. Their goal is to decentralize, but that's not where it is. And people think that just because it's open mainnet, it needs to be decentralized right now. And that's just not true. Pi network is not ready for these major exchanges yet. So yes, if somebody submits a KYB without being invited to at this point in the game, it will be rejected. And it's rejected because the Pi Core team's not ready and they maintain control. This is 100% fact. I mean, there are no public nodes running right now. All of the nodes that are running the blockchain are controlled by Pi network. Yet there are 600,000 people running nodes worldwide. Now, we're not doing this for our health. Okay, they're preparing for decentralization. It's just not ready yet. So I won't go into all of the details on this, but this guy nails it on the head. And I've mentioned this in a previous video. The Pi Core team has obviously talked to the regulators in the US and other countries, I'm sure, and they have laid out their plan. Otherwise, these same regulators would be breathing down the necks of the Pi Core team, telling them that they need to decentralize or we're going to shut you down. You cannot fail to move towards decentralization and expect that the regulators aren't going to come down on you. I mean, look at all the turmoil that's happened with other exchanges and other cryptos. The statement could be correct that the Pi Core team is maintaining control, but that doesn't mean that's how it's going to be. And in fact, it can't be. So thank you so much for this comment. And I think you're spot on. All right. So I want to do an update on the Banxa situation. As we know, the Banxa showed up completely unannounced by the Pi Core team and by Banxa, and it caused a lot of confusion. This user pointed out that if you read the comments on the X posts, you'll see that it doesn't work anyway. I hadn't seen those comments, but after seeing this, I did look, and sure enough, a lot of people were saying that it didn't work. I mean, for a lot of people, it was there but grayed out. They couldn't access it at all. And other people that could access it, were not successful. But I have also heard at least a few people that have successfully done it. There's two parts of this, but I think for the large part, it was there, but it wasn't quite ready for prime time. And then this other user, thank you, Miski from Flixton, for that, by the way. This is Michael B82. He says he checked his wallet the night before going to sleep and saw that the Banxa option was available. And in the morning, it was gone. To me, this sounds like they're testing this rollout of their partnership with Banxa, which could be why there's no announcement. Typical Pi Core team fashion, they've done it in a way that makes it so much more confusing and frustrating for people. And I just don't get why they keep doing this. For example, why would they have to test this on live wallets if they are in fact testing it? We're not guinea pigs here. Are we some kind of social experiment that you can just do these things and then, see what happens? I don't know. I mean, maybe we are. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to roll this out on live wallets if all you're doing is testing it. Thanks to all of the commenters who provide more information than I had when I post some of these videos. And I post these videos based on what I see, what I hear, what I read. And I try to weave that in to this whole storyline that is the Pi network. I get it wrong sometimes, and that's okay. Well, I think it's okay. If you don't, then you're free to move on. I don't claim to be the oracle of Pi or the Pi Core team or the Pi network. I just see information and I present it. And if that's useful to you, that's great. It's useful to me because I get to know what's going on and it helps me frame this whole thing in a certain light that keeps me in the project. And hopefully that does the same for you. Well, that's all I've got for today. If anything pops up, as usual, I will hop back on here and let you know. But until then, don't panic, stay the course, and remember, the success of the Pi network begins with you. Pi to the moon. Peace.